I've taken one daily picture for 6 months straight, and this is why I did it. If you don't know me already, let me present myself. Hi, I am Juan Atilano, and I am a photographer and videographer from LA, based in LA. At the very beginning of this project, I was in between cameras, meaning that I was selling my old camera and trying to get a new one. This new camera had to fit my certain workflow, which was leaning more towards photography instead of videography, because my previous camera was an FX30 and it doesn't have a shutter. So yeah, I had to get a new one, which is this one, which is a Fujifilm X-H2. Really good camera, amazing. So in that time, I had really no camera left to do photography. So I was a photographer without the camera. How am I supposed to take pictures without a camera? So the only tool that I had was my phone. This one. This is a iPhone 15 Pro Max. Came out last year. Works perfectly. I'm not going to change it in like a long time, but here's the deal. It has a 48 megapixel-ish camera right here, and then it has a telephoto camera, which is this one right here. Having a telephoto lens with the phone, it's extremely useful. It makes the whole setup very versatile and in a small form factor. And I had to practice due to the difference between the iPhone sensor, a crop sensor, and a full frame sensor. This had a great disadvantage against me, but somehow I needed a way to post this. So I went with Polaroids. These are a failed project of mine, so let's not focus on that. The point was that I needed to have the portability of a phone and the format of a Polaroid. Having those requirements for this project, then I searched and I searched and I searched, and finally I ended up with 3 apps that helped me throughout this project. The first one being an app called Lit. This was basically the template to my Polaroids, which is not exactly the Polaroid aspect ratio, but it's more of an Instax aspect ratio. So it's similar, but it's not the same, but it has a little uniqueness to it. Throughout the project, actually, the app was upgraded, so it has like little dust, so it has a more character to the photo. Now, editing softwares. This is a very interesting topic because it has been really weird throughout all my years. I've been using a lot of editing softwares, some practical, some really not, and at the end I was using everything that I had available on my phone. Lightroom was the one that really helped me out, but I'm transitioning towards Capture One Pro. You can use whatever software it works for you. For me, it worked with Lightroom and Capture One, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to use Lightroom Mobile for this. And then to make everything fit into the Instagram story format, I used an app called PixArt, but you can use whatever it works for you. This is the combination of apps that work for me, but it can easily adapt to any workflow. Now I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. I'm gonna use this one picture that I took at Film Tools. Film Tools, sponsor me. Now you're obligated. Sponsor me, please. So I took this photo at Film Tools in LA. That's very distinguished individual. So we are going to get going into editing. I basically shoot everything in RAW. It's called ProRAW, I believe, but it really gives you that flexibility when it comes to everything that you need to do. So right now I'm gonna put it in Adobe Landscape. I really like this this color profile that's included. So it makes everything easier. When you get to the situation of having to edit multiple pictures a day, you need to be agile. with your workflow, which that's why I do what I do. That's why I use that editing and I use that certain style to make everything faster. Now we're gonna get into optics, and I'm just gonna remove chromatic aberration. There's no chromatic aberration in the picture, but just in case, it's just a gut feeling. Then enable lens correction. You see that it slightly moves the image. It does something. What's the explanation? I have no idea, but it works. So now this is more of a gut feeling as well. I do the sharpening, noise, and color noise with 75 on detail right there, and then the actual color noise reduction, I do it at 50. Why? Because it just works for me. I like everything to be multiple of 5. Look at that. So sharpening 50, detail 75, and it somewhat makes the image a little better. Then we go to effects, and we have texture, clarity, and the haze. Now, what does every single one of these do? It basically gives you texture. It gives you a little bit more sharpening in a non-computer-ish way. Whoa, sorry about that. It really gives you like more to see. Then we have clarity. I usually go -10, -5. It really depends on what I'm trying to achieve with this image. I'm trying to make it less exposed. I'm trying to make it look darker because I feel that, you know, this alien, it's obviously reminiscing from ET. So I'm trying to make it look a bit more creepy or mysterious or whatever. Vignette, I don't do vignette. I really don't do. Grain, not really, because at the end it's going to add up grain with the template. So do as you wish. Blur, I usually don't do this type of blur. Sometimes I have used this blur in the past, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do it because it looks really well. That 120 millimeter lens really gives you that separation between the subject and the background. So I'm just going to run with that. Then white balance. This is really a neat, picky process. I usually do auto, but not as shot. So I do auto in app because it usually gives you like the best result overall. It really respects the different shades of white. So it's good. It's good. Then light. Here is where shit gets real. Let us get that S type of curve. Let me just... I know I meant to do a bit less exposure, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do -45. Yes. Now you have that like texture, that color, like everything on the alien. You might be thinking it should be like more green instead of purple, and to that I say no. This is my picture. I'm gonna do whatever I want. You do whatever you want. I'm just showing you my process, right? Then I just get a little bit more contrast to respect how dark the crate and the bicycle really are. Then the eyes, it really gives the eyes like a bit more of a shiny effect because, you know, contrast is very important. Then highlights, shadows, whites, blacks. So this is adding up to the final result, which is going to be altered by the other app that we're going to use right now. But for the sake of this video, I feel like I've said that a lot of times. I'm gonna do this cinematic style, but I'm going to put it at 40. There we go. All right, looks really good. It looks good to me. This looks like a really good picture that I'm gonna use for the story. So let us export. And now that it's exported, let's go to the other app, which is Lit. It has like a little Tinder-ish logo, which it's a little sketchy, but trust me, it's an editing app. So now you have your file right here on Lit. So I have modified my template that comes with this. This is a paid app, by the way. I believe that you have access to this without having to pay. So if you're on a budget, I know I've been on a budget before, so I know what I'm saying. You have Instant C. That's the one that we want, but I have already made like a preset to fit my needs. So the reason of why I wanted to go a little bit lower with exposure is because this template, for some reason, it adds a little bit more of exposure to the picture. So you really want to like underexpose the picture in order to make it even then in post. So once you have that, that's going to be resembling to the final result. So you just save it. I exported with the resolution, with the max resolution that I get, which is 6048 pixels, and quality 100, because that's really how you get like the highest quality possible. Now we're going to jump to this one app called PixArt. I have right here the one of the stories already put together. So what I'm basically doing here is filling up the blanks that are going to be missing if you decide to upload that to your Instagram story. So I have this white background, which I do not remember the format, but basically you can upload a white picture to your Instagram and then you can screenshot that and use that as a background. Now that I have centered my last picture, I can add up this picture that we have edited before, and we just save it, and that's it. And make sure to get out of the app because it has ads, because I'm a cheap ass. It's like that. Then you go to photos, and you're gonna have 3 different files. You have the original, you have the one that's edited, you have the Polaroid one, and I lied, you have 4. Now you have the last edit that you have, which that's the one that has the formatting ready for Instagram. So that's basically everything that I had to show you. That's how I started doing this. That's why I began to do this type of projects. And it really, really, really trained my eye in order to use my phone for a better purpose for photography, because it has too much capabilities like just buried underneath bad software. Like it's really, really useful if you get to edit it, if you get to do all these creative stuff. It really gives you a wonderful result. And that would be it for today. Thank you very much, and I hope that you go out and take pictures or videos. Thank you very much.